Hello from the other side of the world, from down under. From this island of Tasmania, originally Lutruwita, the home of the indigenous Palawa people who've lived here and thrived on its sea life for 60,000 years. Like all island communities, we love and treasure the waterways that sustain us. And like you, we're battling to keep them clean, beautiful and peaceful, standing up to a powerful and insatiable multinational fish farming industry that's plundering our natural heritage. Neighbours of Fish Farming is based in the beautiful Huon River Valley, which is at the very epicentre of the Tasmanian Atlantic salmon industry, expanding round much more of our coastline now.
When the Atlantic salmon industry arrived in Tasmania in the 1980s, it seemed a wonderful opportunity to many people. A clean, nature-friendly, low-impact industry that wouldn't destroy our unique native marine wildlife. What we've witnessed over the last 40 years has been the destruction of our waterways and marine life, and coastal communities suffering increasing industrial light, noise, debris and pollution. And now we know there's no end to the greed of multinationals who've so captured the island's politicians and regulators with their power and their money that it's only the anger and determination of communities that's holding the industry in check.
Our campaign began about 9 years ago when communities started to become increasingly frustrated by the light and noise pollution 24 hours a day, and the way that our beaches started to get covered by slimy algae, by the debris that washed up on our beaches, so that our tranquil way of life in rural Tasmania was gradually undermined by the salmon companies. We found our waterways increasingly polluted with debris like this washing up, and algal slime on our shores and reefs, and gradually marine life disappearing. Seahorses, penguins, dolphins, weedy sea dragons, all sorts of fish. People wondered why nothing happened when they complained, until they realised our politicians and our regulators had been captured by the industry through their powerful lobbyists or through political donations hidden from the public. For us, the turning point came 3 years ago with the publication of Richard Flanagan's Toxic, the internationally renowned Tasmanian author whose deep dive into the industry and its destructive practices shook Tasmanians, politicians, and the industry itself.
8 years ago, just 9% of Tasmanians said they worried about industrial salmon farming in our waterways. Today, 72% of Tasmanians say they want industrial salmon feedlots out of our shallow, vulnerable waterways. Our first major public campaign was clear, spelling out on billboards just what eating salmon from our waters means. Eating salmon is killing Tasmania. Shockingly, it's still killing our marine life. In World Heritage listed Macquarie Harbour, a 60-million-year-old relic of the dinosaurs, the Maugean skate, is on the verge of extinction because filth and feces from salmon farms are sucking the oxygen from the waterway. Do the multinationals care? No. They say they will not lose a single fish nor a single job to save this prehistoric animal.
Where once the industry was owned by local companies, now it's owned by multinationals like the Brazilian JBS, one of the most corrupt global companies on earth, and by Cook Aquaculture, thrown out of Washington State in the United States for constant regulatory breaches and for damaging their waterways too. With the regulators and politicians in their pockets, it could seem like an impossible fight to win, a sort of David and Goliath battle. Yet community refuses to give up the fight because we treasure what this industry is destroying.
What we need to do is get these industrial fish pens out of our waters and get our natural river and channel back again. If Seattle can do it, we can do it!
We believe that Australians right across the continent will support our fight, and help defeat the salmon barons as they learn just what a toxic product is produced in the feedlots, what damage is being done to Tasmania's waterways and marine life, and what shocking conditions the Atlantic salmon themselves have to suffer from egg to slaughter.
With Tasmanians so opposed to the industry, our campaign is now focusing on the 23 million mainland Australians who form the industry's main market. We believe they'll be horrified to learn of the chemicals used by the industry, the tons of antibiotics dumped into public waterways to treat diseased salmon, the destruction of native marine life, the shooting of protected fur seals, and the putrid waters of the salmon feedlots. The industry is spending millions to lobby politicians to market a toxic product and to greenwash its practices. But you can only sell a lie so long before consumers realise it's just that, a lie. Tasmanians no longer believe in this industry. Even the politicians have been forced to admit that. And our campaign has stopped aggressive expansion industry plans in their tracks.
So the job now is to wind back the feedlots, find alternative jobs that are sustainable for the people who've worked on the fish farms, and to find sources of food that don't damage the environment. It's going to take a long while, and there's a lot of hard work to be done by good people and courageous communities. But we believe that we can roll back this industry and save our waterways for our children and for the generations to follow.